Hey! Hello, everyone. Oh, so good to have you all here. Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to episode 2 of Tabletop Galaxy presents Halcyon Days broken. No, oh my goodness, it's Tabletop Gal. There's too many colons. What can I say? Tabletop Galaxy presents Broken Space Halcyon Days episode 1 part 2, or maybe session 1 part 2. So just as a quick, so this is episode 2. In game terms, though, this is still the first session because we are a weekly Star Wars Fantasy Flight Edge of the Empire game being streamed here on Tabletop Galaxy's Twitch and later released via podcast and YouTube medium. Keep an eye out on our Twitter at Tabletop Galaxy for that. And we run weekly, but our sister game, Second Sunrise, which is on tomorrow, we'll talk more about that at the end of the show, runs bi-weekly. And since we are in a shared universe with characters who are hopefully leveling up in the same capacity, it would be a little unfair in multiple ways if we had, in game terms, twice the amount of sessions. So this is session 1 part 2 of Halcyon Days. I am Robert the GM. I'll be your space master and everyone else in today's game. And let's introduce our lovely players. So starting first with Alex.
Hello, my name's Alex. I have a decent amount of experience with this game, and I will be playing Atmos Cast 4 as I usually do. Come catch me on Twitter at ShockTheLink.
Awesome.
And I use he/him pronouns for both me and Atmos.
Perfect. And who is Atmos? Can we get a little info about him?
Yes, Atmos Cast 4 is my lovely bounty hunter. He is a Caloran, who are a kind of fishy, frog-looking, semi-amphibious race of green dudes with black markings on them.
Don't worry, everyone. By the end of this whole campaign, he'll finally have a good way of describing his character species.
I will eventually have a good intro.
Yeah, you'll nail it down at some point there.
Maybe, eventually. Probably not.
Love it. And next, Wade.
Hey, I'm Wade. I'll also be using he/him pronouns for myself and Bishop.
Bishop.
Yeah. Not as southern as it sounds, really, but Bishop is a gank assassin who's getting us into a big kerfuffle today.
Woohoo! I can always rely on Wade to get people in kerfuffles.
Yes.
And person who might be helping to exacerbate that kerfuffle based on some very devious looks, Jay.
Hi, my name is Jay. I go by he/him pronouns as well as my character Vons. Vons is a blue Rhodian gunslinger, and with his wonderful blaster, which named Jexica, is definitely going to be putting some shenanigans tonight. So we'll see how this goes.
Shenanigans are our specialty.
They really
Shenanigans are our specialty.
And that's a perfect transition to our final player, Io. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Io. I'm playing Zale, a Twi'lek charmer / force-sensitive emergent, and my pronouns are they, them. Zale's pronouns are they, them, and she, her.
Awesome. So, again, this is going to be our little session here. So last time on Halcyon Days, the party was hired by a very low-ranking Imperial Navy officer by the name of Kai Zet, a kind of shifty human that kind of, was constantly looking around. And they were hired, well, hired's a strong word. They were informed about a small hut convoy of weaponry being moved across the planet of Socorro, out from the capital city that everyone has been kind of in this whole time of Vakea, and to like an off-site landing, like shipping platform. And we're told that essentially if somebody were to obtain that stuff and bring it to the Empire, who it technically belongs to, they'd be rewarded, despite the fact that those people wouldn't be working for the Empire. That was plenty of enough hints for the party to get the picture. They flew the now named, right? Halcyon Day.
Not yet,
Oh,
technically.
okay. The now, as of yet, still unnamed Lancer owned by Vans to a part of Socorro's desert to set up an ambush. An ambush they did. This large kind of cargo skiff, the in between of the big like sail barge from episode 6 and the little guys that surrounded it, as it had like one enclosed deck. They managed to handily distract and then handily put out of commission the guards on it, killing all but one of them, who is currently unconscious on the ground in the deck, the belly of the craft. And
We'll
they
deal
are,
with that later.
yes, they did a brief amount of negotiation with her, and then they did a brief amount of negotiation with the hut, which I don't.
Actually, negotiation might not be the right word. If we were
No.
rolling negotiation, I would have done much better at it.
Yeah, well, I see. Negotiation was said with like very implied air quotes. They did a large amount of speaking with this hut, who offered them to take some of the shipment and just leave. However, the party, having spotted a secret compartment on one of the boxes, had decided to. Well, Wade, what had you decided to do?
With the secret compartment. Sorry, I'm all over the place.
Just in general, at the end of the
the hut.
session.
Well, in general, there's a lot of talking and not a
Mhm.
lot of resolving.
Yeah. So I think we're going to start off the session. So as a note, since this is part 2 of session 1, we are currently, no obligation got rolled by some miracle.
Miracle
Because
is the
we
right
have
word.
80 obligation.
Yeah. And currently the destiny points are 3 and 3. So there's 3 light, 3 dark currently.
And we started off with 6.
Yeah, y'all y'all have been spending them pretty liberally, which I appreciate. So let's roll initiative. So I know that Bishop is definitely going to be rolling cool, because I feel like Bishop has been ready for this moment for a little bit since this HUD has showed up. I think I'm ready to hear whether you all think that cool or vigilance is more appropriate for those uninitiated. There's 2 basically different statistics that people roll in this system to indicate initiative. Cool is more you're prepared, you are ready for something to happen, and you are jumping into action. And vigilance is more, let's do something. So I am going to say that the hut is going to roll cool, because they kind of, you guys are intruders on this vessel, and so it's maybe not that big of a stretch to say that it was ready for something to happen. So what all do you think your characters, would your characters be surprised and not ready for this moment, or what? You guys tell me.
I admit that Zale was actually about to start shooting if Wade, not Wade, there is no Wade, just
There is no way.
There's a little bit of Wade.
Bishop? Am I confused? Yes, Bishop, sorry. Not used to everyone's names yet.
New characters.
In the grand Star Wars tradition of boring conversation anyway. So I think she was expecting something to go down.
Considering Vans looked at Bishop in the last session, was like, what do you guys want to do? And I'll do what you want. I think for him, I would think it was more of a cool lot, because he's waiting for something to happen.
Okay. And then Atmos, you are going to be rolling vigilance because you're not even there yet.
Yeah, I'm not even there.
So
So
go ahead and roll your initiatives here. So I will figure out. The hut is got a presence of 2 and a skill of 1 for cool. So, actually, I will.
How
Did
I
you mean
roll a
to roll
force?
the door?
I did not mean to roll that, and I don't know why it rolled. Oh, there's
No
a force
worries.
die in the pool. That explains it. I
No
don't know
worries, but
why
that's a
there's a force
2-1.
die in the pool.
Me neither.
ooh,
Okay, initiative, vigilance, initiative, cool. And so Vans, you got 3-1. So all right, so what's that? That brings us to a final total for the player characters of a 3-1
Actually,
rolled by Vans.
why? Okay, well, for some reason when I rolled, I've got 2 boosts on there.
Oh yeah,
That
are you
right?
not
Yeah,
supposed to?
No, I'm not supposed to. I
Oh,
thought I
okay.
clicked it off, but let me
Okay.
double check
So
it.
that's a 2-0 for you then, Vans.
But I am using a strain to add a success
Okay.
with my rapid
Cool.
reaction
So
trait.
with that, Vans got a 3-0. Zael got 2-1. And as a note, it's number of successes, and then to break ties is number of advantage you got. So then Vigilance, so for Atmos, you got 2 successes. Pretty good considering you don't even know this is really going on yet. And then Bishop, just 1 advantage, unfortunately. And then I will roll the huts.
Do you want me to re-roll, or do you just want to take the?
No, I just
Okay.
yeah,
So
no
I'll have
worries.
a total of 3 successes.
Yes. And so the
Got it.
hut got 1 success and 2 advantage. So you guys got a good amount of jump on them. So first up is a player slot. So who's jumping in here?
I assume the person who pulled out the knife.
It may. I mean, listen. I'm not gonna like force you guys, but that makes sense to me.
Bishop, is it possible? Do you mind if Vans goes a little bit first to kind of set you up with that layup so the ball's sitting at top so you can come down and slam it?
I mean, I don't see
Or
why
is your
not.
heart
I guess with your
Because I'm hoping
your
that I have an
shooting skill,
advantage or
right?
2 that I can pass to you.
I mean, it seems like it would make sense.
Okay. So, shenanigans are our friends. Based
I
off of
agree.
my obligation, which is an obsession of called shots.
Mhm.
And in my backstory, one of Van's backstories is he believes that 1 shot can turn the tides to everything. So, with everyone's permission, I would like to spend a destiny point to have a thermal detonator behind the hut as a memento on his desk or a wall or a trophy from something. And what Vans would like to do is call shot the thermal detonator to bounce off where it is and land behind the hut and explode.
Wow. I mean,
It's not going to kill him, but it's going to do some damage.
I mean,
Is that everyone okay with this?
I would be absolutely okay with the spending of the destiny point for something of that significance.
I mean, yeah.
Don't thermal detonators have like blast 20 or something?
Mhm.
It is blast short.
It's
but,
blast 15. So let's not be too crazy here.
But if blast doesn't, I can select if blast doesn't activate.
Yeah.
So
You can?
yes,
Oh,
you have to have 2 successes to have it to use the blast property. So what range would this be at? Since I'm short range from the hut, would you say I'm medium range or still within short range?
I think saying you're within medium range of
Okay.
the thermal detonator is probably correct here. So I'm gonna add. So it's two purple because you're medium range. I think So first I'll spend that destiny point here.
Yep.
I think I am gonna, because it is like a called shot onto a small object, I'm gonna add a black die, a setback die.
Oh, I rolled. I rolled destiny instead of spend destiny.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah.
It's not 5, it should only be 4.
Yeah, it's
Oops.
2 and 4 now. It's 2 and 4.
4.
So your opposing pool is 1 black and 2 purple dice.
1 black, and does that include the 1 setback dice for my called shot, or are you adding additional 1?
Yeah,
Okay,
so it's 1 to do a call check, and I'm gonna say it's 1 to shoot an item as small as a thermal detonator.
Okay.
All right.
We're
We're good to go.
All right, here we go,
I'm very
people.
excited for what this does.
Let's see what this does.
Wow.
Oh,
a triumph! A triumph!
Holy crap! Yes.
Wow.
Shall I describe
Well
this?
done.
Well, first for the audio listeners, what'd you get?
So with the dice pool, I rolled 1 success with 4 advantage and 1 triumph.
Yeah.
So the success is that I shot it correctly, and basically the thermal detonator bounced right behind the hut, and exploded. And if I recall, a thermal detonator has 20 damage
Yep.
with 1 breach, which activates 10 soak. So I don't know how much soak he
Well,
has, but
it
it's
has
gonna
one breach and it has vicious. Oh yes, no, yes, yeah, correct.
So the breach takes care of the soak, I believe, because 1 breach is 10 soak. So I don't know how much the hut has in soak, but I'm
It's
fairly
not 10.
I would like to use the two of the advantages to crit, so that would
Sure.
be a vicious upon the roll. But the
Yeah.
triumph, I want to ask everyone in the group, how should we do the triumph? Do we want to, 1, blast him in his head into the main door and lose his memory for an hour, if that's something the GM would do?
I have a suggestion. Maybe the triumph is you're in the middle of a vessel and somehow it doesn't hurt the vessel.
That
Because
seems
that was
like a
that
good
was one of
idea.
my big things I was thinking about as a downside.
Or the other possibility is that the triumph, the hole blows open and the hut falls out.
I also say yes to that immediately.
I personally am in favor of not damaging the vehicle that I'm currently driving, and also
to be fair, I'm gonna say falling through the hole you just blew up is more Star Wars.
it is more Star Wars.
Just want to put that out there in the world.
I would like to point out that Atmos at this point has a vested interest in a dead hut, though.
So
the other option is we do a major crit on him. So what would you like? Blow the hut out the window, or I'm sorry, Bishop, you wouldn't get your attack in. So what does the party want to do?
Yeah, so that is a question actually that I have is being kind of in momentum. If this hole opens up,
with 1 success, 4 advantage, and a triumph, no, you don't have to worry about that at all.
Okay.
Like you as a party earned this going well.
So what does the party want to do? Do we want to majorly crit this hut, or do we want to have him fall out with a crit and fall out of the ship and we can run? Vote?
I actually vote for the hut. The hut's bulk taking most of the blast instead of damaging the ship's structure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay. Wade? Or excuse me, Bishop?
Well, Wade thinks that it makes more sense, I guess, to be able to keep as much of the product as possible, right?
Like,
Okay.
I will say, you all, like, the hut is in not the room with the product, and you guys wrote this is such a good, like, it's not going to hurt any, like, important part of the ship if you make a hole for it to fall.
Yeah,
fall through,
the hut might survive.
Okay. So then at that point, I would like to use the triumph to activate the crit, and then use the 4 advantage to add 20 to my roll for the crit. So it'll be a total of plus 60 to the roll.
Okay. It will be, so I don't know how this works. So I guess actually no. So go ahead. It will be plus 40 because huts are durable too. So go ahead. So because you get it's vicious for a thermal detonator is, so that's plus 40 base, and then you're adding.
I'm adding 20. So with 2 advantages, because it takes 2 to crit, for every 2 additional advantages, you plus 10 to the crit.
Dope.
And
so basically, basically you're counteracting the durable feature of the hut because the huts are durable, which means they subtract 20 from critical injury rolls.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
So it's going to be D100 plus 40.
And I rolled the D100, but I didn't plus the 40. So do you want to just add
92.
To that? 92 on the crit, which is...
I'll search our respective books.
Isn't there a crit roller on the character sheet though? If you have a
there
NPC for this hut,
is. Let me just see here. Critical injuries. Yes, critical number 92. So critical is at the brink. Suffer 1 strain each time you perform an action.
Woohoo!
So I suppose I'll ask this because I'm not entirely sure how this system runs this. So this hut should be dead. Do you want them to not be? They definitely can't survive this with their stat block. This kills them. Does it kill them?
I feel like this decision is up to Jay.
Yeah, so Jay, does this blast the hut apart or does it blast them into the wall and they're out? Because this hut is like, or wait, no. So sorry, this is me in D&D brain. So it going over its strain, its wound threshold doesn't mean it's dead immediately, right?
No, so basically it took the 20 damage. So I don't know if that went over his.
Oh yes, 100%.
Oh, did go over his hip.
Oh, then this hut is 5 above its wound threshold because it had no soak.
That means it's going to take another crit.
All right, so yes, so that means we're gonna get another D100 roll plus 50 now, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, it should be plus 30 because it's still with the vicious.
Because with the vicious and with the thing, but as you said, he's durable.
Yes. So to explain for the people at home, because this is my first time ever running the system. So when you exceed your wound threshold in this game, it's not like D&D where you just die or go unconscious. You instead start taking critical injuries. And each time you take a critical injury, now you can either do that by exceeding your threshold, or if someone crits on you or gets lost advantage like Vans did, you can inflict a critical injury. And each time you take a critical injury, you roll a D100 and you add 10 for each critical injury you've already taken. And so at any point, if Vans rolls a 151 plus, this hut is just dead. So because this hut took way more damage than it's set up to take, Vans is going to roll another critical injury with the plus 40 for a thermal detonator, plus 10 because it's taken 1 critical injury, minus 20 because it is still durable. So 1d100 plus 30, please.
Plus 30. Got it. All right. And then hopefully there's something left over so that that Bishop can take them.
So 67 is
67.
Scattered senses. Remove all boost dice from all skill checks until the end of the encounter. So yeah, basically Vans spots this thermal detonator, fires, and it like careens off of the hut's desk and just detonates and blasts this hut back. Like the entire front of this hut is just burnt and scarred, and it just barely holding on, and just seems wow, I almost feel bad for this thing. All right, so that'll
Bishop. Sorry, no advantage. Boost passed.
So yes, so we now have another player slot. So Bishop, if you would like to go, now would be your time. That you may.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I mean, I guess I'm gonna poke it, right?
Yeah,
the way
absolutely can. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Right.
we're just gonna follow through with that.
Yeah. So it's going to be your now. What are you attacking it with here?
The vibra knife.
Okay, so that's going to be your melee, your melee skill, and it's going to be 2 purple dice. And I don't believe there's any other extra weirdness at all.
Bishop, are you going to aim? Because with a melee weapon, you can technically aim with a maneuver and add a boost.
He'd have to take strain to make 2 maneuvers, but I think we're all at pretty low strain.
I would no, because Bishop this whole time has been the closest to this hut. So I'll say if like you can just basically get on this hut without a maneuver. So if you want to aim, you can go ahead.
Okay, I'll do that. What is that? What do I have to do?
So it's the aim maneuver is just adding a boost die, so the blue ones onto any attack roll you make. So just in your pool, click up the little pool there. And then
so I've got one blue and 2 purple. Or do you want me to take away the purple?
I have the 2 purple in for you.
So I'm gonna just add the blue.
I'm doing y'all's negative stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm just poking a big meaty space.
All right.
Nice.
So that is good. 3 successes, and or make sure I'm honest on this, but this just basically translates to another critical hit.
No.
I think that when incapacitated.
Oh.
When someone's incapacitated, I think more hits.
They're not incapacitated. They're critically injured, but they're not incapacitated, I don't believe.
No, he's incapacitated because he exceeded his wound threshold when thermal detonator hit him. That's why he took a second crit.
Gotcha. So
he would take another crit. Right?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay.
Everything after the wound threshold is another crit.
Gotcha.
Until they die.
Yes. So Wade, you have Vicious 1 on this weapon, and they've taken 2 critical injuries. So you would get plus 30 to this roll. He's still durable, so you're going to roll a D100 and add 10.
Yeah.
Onto this roll.
Ding.
So 65.
65.
That is the senses. Awesome.
Yeah. Or slightly dazed. So add 1 setback die to all skill checks until the end of the encounter. Slightly different. So it can't do any boosts and gets 1 setback on each thing they do. So yeah, you slice into this hut and just see it's kind of just scattering everywhere, and it looks very hurt. And huts are big, massive, meaty creatures, so it's hard to take one down, but it's just is a tough creature. So that is going to be Bishop, and then we still have another PC slot. So I think at this point, if Atmos wants to go after a thermal detonator just went off, that makes sense to me. But you guys tell me.
I don't think there's terribly much Atmos can do. All I had in mind was I could jostle the speeder around to give you guys some boost die, but I don't think that's necessary anymore. So if somebody else would like to go and try and finish the job, I'll wait.
Zale's right there.
Yeah.
She looks really shell-shocked because she was not expecting sudden thermal detonator. Everything, she was still about to be shooting, and then everything kind of went to heck all at once. Is he dead? Is he dead? I'll make sure. And she starts trying to shoot at the hut. So I'm going to I assume I meant short range, so that's going to be one
purple die.
So and
that should be it for negative dice here, because it doesn't have any special armor or defenses on itself. And there's no, even with all that advantage. Ooh, so that's 1 failure and 1 advantage. So you miss, you're too thrown off by everything that just happened,
she's just
which I feel like is fair. And what do you want to do with that one advantage? How do you think that manifests?
Can she, in her sort of wild, I'm going to shoot everything in the general direction of the hut, maybe not deactivate with only one advantage, but damage the alarm system in such a way that it would be easier to turn it off at later?
Yeah, I'll say if somebody tries to deactivate the alarm system, they'll get a boost die. That sounds good to me. So yeah, you see the blaster shot goes wide, but it like slams into some of the computers on the barge, and it does that Star Wars thing of like like sparks flying everywhere. Perfect. So Hut, what do they even do at this point? So they're having an exceptionally bad time.
Mm-hmm.
Is he still conscious?
You could really say that again.
They
He's
are.
exceeded his wound threshold, so I think he's unconscious.
Oh, right, that's right. He's just unconscious. Again, you're learning with me, folks. Hopefully. So then, I basically, Atmos. What do you want to do here?
I'm going to think things have kind of kicked off. So I think at this point he's just gonna punch it on the speeder and try and push it to go faster and get to where we're going quicker.
Let's do some piloting skill checks.
Yep.
So this vehicle is Silhouette 3 because it's slightly bigger than a normal cargo skiff, and I'll say right now it was going speed 1. So that means that your current difficulty is going to be 2 purple dice and 1 red die.
Okay. Piloting is something I am not experienced in. I try to avoid it when I can because it is complex.
Now, this vehicle does not have any handling issues. So that's good for you. So it's just that. So I'm ready when you are here.
All right.
Actually, you know what? I'm not. I'm going to use a dark side pool point to make this, to upgrade the difficulty of this check.
Okay.
Y'all blew up my hut. So as you tried to kind of punch it out of the canyon that you guys ambushed this skiff in, go ahead and make your roll.
Yep. So that will be a piloting planetary check.
Correct. All right.
Nice.
Tell the audience at home or listening at home what you got there.
So that is 2 successes, 2 threats, and a triumph.
All right. So obviously the 2 successes means we're getting out of this canyon, which is good. What does that triumph mean?
That triumph.
I have a suggestion.
Oh, please.
Go for it.
The people who would be coming after the alarm went off are delayed. They weren't ready for that. They're still trying to scramble into position. There are ways more back than they'd like to be, that sort of thing.
All right, I got it. If that sounds good to y'all, I think the sound of a thermal detonator going off is not a quiet one, right? So I think there's kind of, I don't know necessarily what the native life on Zakoro looks like, but there's basically like some large kind of domestic animals on the top of this canyon, and when it goes off, it detonates, and you see these animals rush around, and there's a small kind of like avalanche down in the canyon behind you, and you see like in the distance the vehicles coming too, and obviously people have to go through this canyon, otherwise you wouldn't have ambushed them here. So they're gonna have to like clear the canyon out before they can get to you guys.
Oh, it's like that scene from Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
As basically the detonation spooks a bunch of native Socorro animals, and they cause a little like avalanche. Now, I think maybe those threats are that, in fact, the people aren't going to get to you, but they see like this all going on. Like they have visual confirmation of this.
Okay.
So like, there's no real like danger, but like it's been clocked. Does that sound good?
Sounds good to me.
All right. So basically, yeah, your skiff, you are out of the canyon. So it's going to be much easier going from now on in terms of the difficulty, because you're no longer in this more confined space. And this avalanche happened, but the kind of you see there's like 2 like swoop bikes that kind of are pulling up a little faster like one-man vehicles, and you see they clock you visually, but that is all. So we're back up to the top. So got another player character turn.
So are we, on a question, are we still kind of running to do, we're just basically kind of a chase scene situation? Or how long will it take them to reach us, so to speak?
So, I mean, you guys got a triumph, right? So I feel like we might go into a chase scene to, I think that will be determined on like if there's more threats and maybe a despair, right? But right now you guys are in a position where it's not a chase. Does that make sense?
I want to try to deactivate the alarm.
Yes.
Nice.
Dan's is like...
Zale stops swearing, sort of kind of drops her gun and goes running for the computers that she just accidentally shot.
Love it. So this is definitely mechanics, I believe.
Yeah, can Atmos over the comm maybe try and walk her through this to kind of assist?
Is that a thing? I think that's a thing, right? You give just a boost.
You can assist, yeah.
You use the higher of the two people's stat and skill, and if one person has both higher stat and higher skill, or it's a tie, then the helping just contributes a boost.
Okay, and in terms of in combat, because we're kind of technically are still in it. Well, actually, no, we're out of combat because your only enemy is unconscious. So yeah, who's got a better skill here? I guess.
I have an intellect of 3 and no skill in mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got 1 skill in mechanics and 2 intellect.
Okay, so it's int 3, mechanics 1.
Mechanics 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's going to be 2 purple dice. I will say you do get that boost from when you shot it. I am going to say that there is going to be 1 setback die just because this is a like hot vessel and they're pretty paranoid and would have a decent like failsafe.
Okay. Well,
so
ready?
I'm ready. Let me make sure the upgrade's gone from when I tried to make that piloting go poorly. You're all good.
Did she?
Oh
wow.
Boy.
Hey,
Wow,
that's
quite the roll.
That's
So-
6 successes and 4 threats.
Yeah. So you 100% turn the alarm off. Like the alarm is very off. And in fact, with that many successes, I feel like I want to tell you that you get like the coordinates of where the alarm was sent to, right? Which is only to that like off-site landing platform. So basically, currently only they know that this alarm was turned off.
Okay. Not too many people know. We can do this.
Yeah.
We can do this. We can still get away with this.
So now we
is
got a lot of threat here. So what do you all think that means? I think I have actually. Oh, go ahead.
Well, we got a suggestion from Bounty Hunter that she fall prone.
In a tub of beer?
wrong campaign. That's Second Sunrise stuff. Catch
Maybe-
it every other Wednesday.
She could totally fall into like a crate of like melon fruit or something.
I think for me personally, what I think might happen is that you turn off the alarm, but you like accidentally do something that like closes and locks the hut office.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So you like accidentally trip one little bit on the computers and like the alarm turns off. You're like, yes. And then the like not blast doors, but like the thick doors on the hut office, like, and you're like, oh, wait.
Oops.
Yeah. You basically like turned on the panic room mode on the hut office, but the alarms are off.
So is the alarm the same thing as the distress beacon that you mentioned?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I assumed IO meant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like you are no longer just emitting You're no longer distress beaconed.
Okay.
Terrible office anyway.
Vans looks over at Bishop. Bishop, I'm so sorry. You didn't. You got a good swing. Is he dead?
If you ask me, I will poke him again.
Yeah, they're like heavily wounded, but they're not dead. I mean, I think since we're they're unconscious. They can't really defend themselves. You want to just like coup de grace the hut.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Right. You and then we get like the KO.
So, and then
I was thinking more of a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Well, I guess that does depend on how brutal it is from Bishop.
True.
So looking at the cargo, how many skiffs or speeder bikes are in the cargo area?
There's just the one speeder bike.
Just the one, and there's crates and everything else all around the.
So there's a crate of what looks to be mostly like not great, but just like low grade weapons, like stuff that the Empire would definitely want to like tax and regulate what's getting moved around. But there is also still that secret compartment you all haven't gotten open.
Vans is like over the comms and everyone says, Atmos, are we close to the ship? Do you think we can make it, or do we need to crash this into something after we take the cargo?
Don't crash it. Don't crash it.
Well, not yet. Not yet.
How far are we from the ship? Do you think we can make that quickly?
That definitely sounds like something the dice will decide. So,
so would that be another piloting check?
I think what this is going to be is, can you because I feel like your ship is not necessarily in the because you like parked the ship to be able to ambush them, not to like get away, right? So going to the ship is not the most getaway direct route. So what I'm going to say is that this is going to be a roll to see if you can make it to the ship before they catch up to you all.
Okay.
Other option is, do we want to split the party? Someone go back to the ship, grab it, and go to a different rendezvous point, since Atmos, you know where the canyon, where a good spot would be.
That is a good question. I am very hesitant to split the party, though.
So I don't see a problem.
That is the GM never does.
If someone took the speeder bike back to the ship, what is the likelihood of them making it undetected?
I mean, probably pretty likely if they're not stupid, because to your guys' knowledge, nobody else knows the ship is there, right?
Yeah.
So they're not even looking out for a ship right now.
So yeah, I think that is totally something we could do. Question is, should we?
Because I can't foresee us getting back to the ship without them catching us. We have to go to a different location. They're going to search, but by that time, we might be able to get the ship, go grab some stuff, and then get out of there. Tractor beam it, and get out of there.
Yeah, my preference is we want as much of this stuff as we can get, right?
Yeah.
So I want to lose them, and then we'll have extra time to determine what's the most valuable and offload it.
I think we should get that box open.
We totally should, but I don't think we really have the time right now to worry about it.
So run, hide, figure out what we want to do somewhere else, and then come back for the ship?
I think that might be a good idea. Yeah, find like a cave or something and hide in it.
Bishop, thoughts? Go back, someone go get the ship and rendezvous, or just go somewhere else and then figure out how to get back to the ship later on.
We should probably hide.
Okay. Zale? Sorry. Zale.
Losing them seems like the best option.
All right.
And I think I have an idea of what to do to this thing to throw people at least a little off track when they do find it.
All right. So I will say this is going to be from our intrepid pilot currently a perception test to find like a place to hide, right? I would also accept like, let's see here. If you have something else that you think is applicable, I would say if you want to use like Outer Rim, like lore, I would accept that. If you want to argue that you like know Socorro pretty well,
it's
but my gut
the
says
same
perception.
role either way, honestly. Well,
got it.
Actually, let me find something quick.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Io?
If actually, wait, do I not have any? Oh no, never mind.
No worries.
So
I will say, in your favorite Emos, you do get boost die for perception.
Heightened awareness. That's what I'm looking up right now.
So it should be 2 blue dice, right?
I'm looking that up right now.
Looking at Zale and Bishop, can you handle this down here and I can go up to help Atmos, or do you want me down here?
Go help Atmos.
All right. Check out the crate and I'll be back. So I run up to the top and assist Atmos with trying to figure out where it is. My perception, if you're going perception, or depending on, I'm skilled, but depending on what Atmos is, since he's primary, I could just boost him.
Sure. So
what's your skill?
I have 0 skills in it and a 2 in, what's the characteristic again? Cunning. I have a 2 in cunning.
Okay, so I do have 1 skill in rank in perception.
Okay, so Atmos, it'll be a green and a yellow, and I will say 2 purple to find a place to hide. Here.
And I do also get 1 boost die to that for heightened awareness.
Dope. As that's the benefit of that species that Atmos is. So let's do it.
Oof.
Oof. What does that roll here?
All right, so that is 2 failures and a threat.
Okay, so 2 failures I think is pretty easy to figure out. What is maybe a threat, do we think?
We banged into the wall. We banged.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think maybe that makes sense to me in terms of you all like tried to go into you like oh, that cave probably works, and then you figure out like a little too late that no, abort, and you kind of bang up the ship a little bit.
That seems fair, yeah.
So I will say the ship takes 1 hull. Or we'll say strain. We'll say strain. One system strain is you have to like. So this ship has 8 system strain threshold. So just remember that. And with 2 failures, I think we're now going into a chase scene. So basically, to my understanding, is we're gonna just roll initiative again, and everyone's gonna get chances to do things and see what happens. So basically, as you're all like, as you feel the like whole skiff like lilt as you do this like harsh turn, you all see and hear these 2 swoop bikes pull up and start chasing you. So I will say we're gonna start this initiative here. So I think this is just gonna be vigilance from everyone.
Alrighty.
Yeah, because you all were not necessarily focused on this, and because you 2 were like trying to find a place, and then we'll get right back to what you 2 were doing below decks here in a hot second once we roll initiative, because that did happen before this. But yeah. So
Alrighty.
Now, as a note, I believe. Oh, sorry. Ignore this. I have purple dice in the pool.
Oh.
So now
I still have that boost. Hang on.
Vans should have 2 boost dice to this because of Atmos's heightened perceptions.
Yes, he does. Yep.
Oh, so I get 2 boost?
Well, it depends on how close you are to me. If you are within
he was. I'll
me,
say. I mean, he was helping you perceive, so I will say he gets a 2
right next to me.
dice.
Yep. Then you get 2.
Right.
Yep.
So I think this is going to work, but if not, we'll see.
So
how many did I? Oh,
so
no,
Atmos,
it didn't work.
Atmos. So Atmos got 1 and 1.
1 and 1. Yep.
You can just roll it like manually.
Just roll. Okay, I roll 2 boosts manually. So I would have 1.2.
Okay, so 1.2. So yes, so Atmos got 1 and 1. Van's got 1.2, and then the other two go ahead and roll. Below deck, you two go ahead and roll as well, because you'll be involved in this as well.
Bishop.
Wow.
Wow, Bishop.
So yeah, that'll be a first. First, go ahead, and then Zale.
Oh, you want me to re-roll it? Yes, I can.
Sorry. What'd you get? Oh, you just got 1 advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. No, that's good. No worries. We got it. All right. So get rid of that guy, and then I will roll for these fellows. Let me just pull up their stat blocks here. Oop. And let's see here. They're cool because they were definitely ready for this to happen as they were chasing you. Makes sense to me. Now, cool is cunning, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just gonna run them as a group here.
Oh no, cool is presence.
Presence. Okay, perfect. See, this is why I'm really happy that almost all my players know the system better than me. So they're gonna roll 1 green, 1 yellow. So if I just do this, 3 successes. So we get 1 player turn before the NPC turn. So who wants to go first as you see these 2 swoop bikes coming up against you guys? So as for how this works for everyone at home and myself, basically now everyone still has a maneuver and an action. The people piloting this craft can take, for instance, the fly/drive maneuver to pilot this craft, or other special actions and maneuvers based on your role. So basically you can do stuff like shoot at them or just like try and fix up the craft, but you can also do things like, co-pilot or repair the ship or try and jam something, right? So basically, not only this is just a kind of narrative thing to see what happens. I will say right now, these 2 are at long range, and so yeah, who wants to go first as this chase starts?
I don't think I've got anything to add.
Probably one of the people who's actually above deck.
Yeah.
Oh, and here, I'm going to give you guys have a chance to think about it, because you two down below decks, what were y'all doing while they were unsuccessfully looking for a place to hide?
I know exactly what Zale's doing. Mm-hmm. And I would like to ask, can I flip a destiny point to say that Zale, in the things that she's heard rumors about, etc., is familiar with the symbol for an anti-Hut organization of some kind, some organization that has a large beef with the cartel?
I mean, I'm willing to say yes to that. As long as the rest of the party is cool with that. I mean, I'm definitely okay with it.
Yeah, we'll be running low, but yeah.
I mean, it's 3 and 3 right now. It's 3 and 3 right now because I used one just recently.
Oh, okay. Go for it. What do you guys think?
Sure. I'm not hearing any dissent. So yeah.
Nope.
Because
go ahead.
Sure.
They intend to take their blaster and do their very best to burn that symbol into the wall.
Got it. Yeah. So I will say you've heard rumor about like this like local organization, right? That some people say maybe have like connections. Some people say they have connections to the Pikes. Some people say they have connections to the Black Sun. But everyone knows they just have it out for the huts, and you just blast their symbol into the side of the skiff here. Perfect. And then Bishop, is there something you want to be doing here?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, do we have?
Can you hear me?
Do we have audio?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Do we not have audio?
Yeah. Also, Io, what do you think this symbol looks like? Because that's super important for me. I think. Not mechanically, but me as a human being really wants to know.
Okay, the organization calls itself the Shattered Dais because lots of huts like to go up on those daises and stages, and there's this rumor that their leader basically took a vibro axe and just wham into one of those.
I love it so much.
And
yes.
The symbol is basically a symbolically broken circle. You do a circle and then you do this particular jagged slash down it, and that's what they use. That's what you'll see spray painted on walls where people are getting dissatisfied with the cartel's activities.
I love it. All right. And Bishop, what is there anything what would you be doing in the underneath the in the belly of the beast, so to speak, right now? I know you're also dealing with some
some technical stuff here.
Yeah.
Can we go into this? That way I can fix it too.
Yeah, it looks like Zoom rearranged the cams for some reason.
Yes.
So
Bishop does not like the idea that there are the survivors.
The lady?
Yes.
Is she getting coup de grace?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah. Sorry,
Fatality.
There's there's too much potential for that to go sideways. Sorry, I'm looking away while I try and.
No worries. So, all right. So now we're back. We're back into chase. So we have a player character turn. So what's going on with that?
Do you want, Atmos, do you want to start punching it? But if I, Copilot, help you with your roll, because it's going to be a hard roll, or do you want me to shoot?
I think Copilot is actually its own
It's
action
an action
that you do on your turn.
Okay.
So if you want to start shooting, you can. Otherwise, I can try and gain the advantage.
So a co-pilot just is an action that every success downgrades the difficulty of the next piloting check by 1.
For each success.
Yes, and it's an average piloting check on your part.
So, because you're going to be rolling, I think, reds because of the silhouettes, so I can help downgrade them completely.
Well, currently you guys aren't going too fast, which is another issue in itself. So it's still going to be a 2 purple, 1 red.
Okay.
But
so yeah, the question is, do you want Atmos shoot or help you? Because if they're long range, I can hit them.
Shoot.
All right.
We need to get them off our tail quickly.
All right, so I'm actually going to shoot them. I'm going to aim, adding a boost. I'm not call shotting. I'm going to shoot them.
All right.
Since
so
I've
yes,
done quite a bit of that.
I love it. So they are at long range, which is 3 purple. Now, them being on speeder bikes, does that do any extra difficulty as a person who's not, again, kind of new?
You could throw a setback before somewhat cover because they're
fast.
crouched. They're fast and they're crouched down on it if you wanted to.
No, I mean, I don't think so. I'll say we'll just leave it for now. Yeah, because they don't have like any armor or anything. So I'll say that this is probably good. So yeah, I've got 3 purple in there.
Okay.
Let's.
So I'm going to. I've got a boost because I'm aiming. A boost for a talent for acting before the other NPCs act.
Quick strike, right?
Quick strike, exactly. So it's a
Yep.
quick strike talent that gunslingers have. So I get, if I shoot or act before the NPCs, I get to add a boost on it.
All right.
So I will.
Maybe I should have added a setback die, but
I haven't rolled, so
no. I'm a space master of my word.
I want to be fair. I'm open. All right, so if we're all set, here we go. Let's see what happens.
Okay. So after all is ended, a total of 3 successes. So 9 damage onto one of the riders of this swoop bike.
And with Pierce 4 of hit, up to 4 soak goes away.
Oh, Pierce 4?
Yes.
Wow.
Dang. Yeah, that's 9 damage. Yeah, that's enough to take down one of these guys. Man, Pierce 4. I might beef up some people from now on. But yes, so yeah, tell me how that looks.
Sorry, I lost audio for a quick second. My apologies. So basically, with the Pierce up to a soak, I basically is nullity. But other than that, so it's a total of 9. Because I got. What did we do here? So with those 3, so it'd be 9 damage. And if I hit him hard enough, he just falls off the bike, and the bike crashes.
Yeah, it does that like classic Star Wars thing, like careening off and off in the distance.
We all know speeders explode every time.
Oh yeah, yep. No, there's never been just an abandoned speeder because they all just explode if they're riderless.
And after I shoot, I look down at my gun and go, "Good job, Jessica. Good job. Yep." And so,
love it. All right, so the NPC's turn. So they're going to. Let's see here. The way I'm trying to think of this is they're basically going to. They're gonna do the drive action. So currently, so it's 1 to move within.
It's a maneuver to move in within range, depending on how fast they are going.
Yes. So they are currently going at speed 2. So to go from long to medium should be 2 maneuvers, I believe.
I believe it is. To go from.
Yeah, so it's going to take 2 maneuvers. So they take a strain, and then they have to make a piloting check. So the difficulty for them is going to be, so they're going speed 2, and the silhouette of the speeder is 2. So it's going to be, that's it. So it's going to be 2 red dice for them. That's a little brutal. And then, so piloting is based off of
agility,
and their so let's see, let me look at their stats here. So they have a 3 agility and 1 piloting. So it's going to be 1. So it's going to be grand total of. However, the swoop bike also has a +2 handling. They're pretty easy to get the hang of. So they're not the best pilots, but hopefully the bike will make up for it. So basically, they have 2 boost dice for the speeder bike, 2 green dice, and a yellow die versus 2 red dice. So see how this goes as they do their maneuver. Okay, so they get just 2 advantage. So what I will say is basically they have a lot of evasive maneuvers going on right now. So they don't get any closer. They're still at long range. They don't lose any distance. But the next person to shoot at them basically has a setback die as they are like dodging and weaving through here. Now for their action, I think they will pull out their own pistol and take a shot here. So let's see here. It's going to be 3 purple because they are at long range. And
does their blaster shoot at long range?
Oh yeah, no, your blaster's special. No, their blaster is not that cool. Never mind. So
obligation.
Yes. That thing I didn't get to use. I remember it well. And swoop bikes don't have any weapons, so for their action, I'm not entirely sure what they can do while piloting. I think they can basically take kind of like evasive maneuvers and just make it a little harder to hit them. So, yeah. So basically, yeah, they will take evasive, I don't, because that's a maneuver. So as an action though in combat you can like in D&D it's dodge, right? But it's
one of the things you can do as an action. This is just a suggestion.
Yeah.
Because I got my little cheat sheet up here. Is called Gain the Advantage. It's a piloting check to outmaneuver the enemy vehicle. On a successful check until the end of the pilot's next turn, the target does not gain the benefits.
I agree, but they need to be going speed 4 or higher for that.
That's right.
Unfortunately. Yes.
Okay.
So I think because there's like just an action to make yourself harder to hit, right? Like.
Yeah.
So they will essentially basically the next person to shoot at them has a disadvantage die, and everyone has or a setback die, and everyone has a setback die as well. As they basically they are after seeing one person just get sniped off of the skiff, which shouldn't really be that possible, they are turtling down. So we are back to player character turn. Who's doing
all
what?
Right. Yeah. I'll start. I'll use the punch it maneuver.
Okay.
To accelerate this boat to its maximum speed.
Sure will.
We will suffer 1 system strain per point.
So you're at 3 system strain then, because you were going 1 and it is a max speed of 3. Yes.
Yep.
Io?
So
remember, this is a chase. Oh wait, we aren't at the top of the round, just back into player initiative. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
I got myself tangled up. That's all.
No worries. So yes, you are currently going faster than the speeder bike is, as they were being conservative as they came out of the canyon.
Yep.
And then so that's your maneuver.
That's my maneuver, and then I'm going to use my action as a maneuver as well and do some evasive maneuvers.
Okay. So that just makes it harder to hit you. Just flat, right?
No rolls.
The
difficulty once to be hit.
All right, perfect. As Atmos just does the like stick shift and just punches it forward. Nice. So we got another player character turn. So Bishop or Zale.
Zale is going to I'd try to go for the gun up top again, but that didn't really work out too well last time. So I think Zale is going to try to see what's in the box.
All right. So you do have the boost die from that last session. It is
and
still
I have skullduggery skill.
Nice. I do think if I remember correctly, I said it was 3 purple because it's a pretty secure thing. So that's all I've got right now. So I've got 3 purple loaded in.
And a boost.
Yep, and you should have load your boost in for yourself. Okay. And whenever you're ready, go ahead. All right.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yay.
So that's 2 successes and 2 advantage. So obviously you get it open. What does the advantage look like to you? What I will say, if you don't have a concrete idea, because I will say if you want to use those 2 advantage, have that be a maneuver and still have your like action. Because one thing you can do is like have it be quicker, I believe, with some of that kind of stuff. So if you want it,
I think it depends on whether it's immediately evident why what's in the box is so valuable, because if not, I want the advantage to be that I do have an idea of why.
I think it's probably pretty. So you open it and it is a piece of like tech, like which not only is just inherently valuable, but this is Socorro, which is a planet that is all about like illicit and like smuggled tech and ship modifications. And so this is like a pretty hefty and expensive looking piece of ship tech.
Ah.
So yeah, you do that in a maneuver. It is open, so you can just have it. It's on your person. What next?
How far? Okay, in that case, I might go for the gun up top.
Okay. I'll say it will take a strain to like maneuver and then action shoot it. But yeah.
I will take the 2 strain to make a second maneuver. One moment, let me.
Now, yes, so it is long range and gunnery skill, and so 3 purple dice, and it's still not a great gun. So 1 setback die.
This is not going to go great. Let's
hey,
see.
you never know.
Strain, where's my strain?
Oh, but also 2 more setback die because of his evasive maneuvers and the advantage. So it's 3 setback die and 3 purple dice.
How about instead of taking an action, I'm just going to be here so that I can try to aim on my next turn.
Okay, sounds good. So you can take away that strain then for taking a second maneuver and just use your action to do so. All right, final player character slot. So Bishop, what are you up to?
Do we know if that hut door would be accessible with some work?
Oh yeah, you could definitely try. It's just like you're gonna have to now. Like it was open, no, it is not. So yes, you could attempt to open up the door if you want to make a computer's check.
Oh well, that doesn't sound like it's going to be very good, but I'm going to do it.
Love it. So it's going to be 3 purple because this is a hut's office, and that's all for now. So unless you have anything else to add or change, it's just going to be go ahead and roll your computer's skill whenever you like.
Yeah, I don't think I can add anything to it, so.
I mean, you could use a destiny point. I guess that's a no.
No.
So it is a failure.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get the you didn't say the magic word as you attempt to break into the as you attempt to break into the hut's office. It's not impossible, but you're not making headway right this moment. So that is the end of the round. We're back to the top of the round. So you sound like you wanted to explain how chases kind of work.
Right. So in a chase scene at the top of every round, everyone who's piloting or otherwise participating in the chase, since foot chases are also a thing, but not a thing right now unless any of the animals start running after us, which hopefully they won't. They are competitive piloting checks. So I believe all the pilots are going to. Okay. Yes. I'm sorry, I need to double check something. My cheat sheet is being not entirely.
No, you're good. So everyone's gonna make a competitive check. So Atmos and the enemy both will make their piloting checks based on how difficult it is to pilot their ship in this environment, and based on who gets more successes and advantage, we will see who gains on whom or vice versa.
I need to double check the definition of competitive check. They might be rolling against each other's.
No, so that
we checked that earlier.
Yes, so
okay, good.
I made sure I knew this because I figured there would be a chase
that makes
this
sense.
episode. So
okay, good.
For our heroes here, the skiff is now at speed 3 and is silhouette 2. So the difficulty for Atmos will be 2 red and 1 purple.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use a dark side point because I had 4. That's way too many. So right now it's 3 red dice, and then at most whatever you have for your piloting.
All right. Is that all set then?
I am ready when you are.
All right.
Ooh.
Ouch. That's a lot of advantage, though.
So tell me what you got here.
Yeah. So that's 3 failures, but 6 advantage.
Yes. Now, before we fully resolve what that looks like, I will do the opponent's check here. So they once again have, let me, if I remember correctly, 2 green and 1 yellow, and then so their speeder bike is going speed 2 and is silhouette 2, so it's going to be 2 red dice against them.
It's only.
And
oh yeah, okay.
What?
I was going to say, I thought that was 1, but no, you're right. Okay.
Yes, and then they also have the 2 boost die because this is an easy to handle vehicle. So we will roll. Huh.
Okay.
So the opponent got 3 advantage and the despair. So
I have an idea, but anyone
please.
else?
No, what's your idea? You have a gut feeling.
So as he's zooming up on us, Atmos is just slowing it. It's kind of rocky in the area, and at the last moment veers off to the left, just of missing this large rock that was right there with all that advantage, and the speeder couldn't see it as it was coming up and ran right into it.
That would just kill them.
Yeah.
That for just a despair. So
okay,
how about
he clips it?
He clips it, and he's gonna take some strain, and he drops his blaster that he was getting ready to blast you. So with that, I think he basically gets to just move to medium range now for free. I believe is how that kind of works, because you got 3 failures, but basically now, I'm just going to say with all the advantage you all have a boost die for whatever you do this next round with 6 advantage. Plus, basically, you were able to veer off in a way that they kind of scrape against, and the speeder bike takes a hull. That's not the term for it, is it? Is it hull?
It's hull damage. Yep.
Hull damage. Yeah. And thing is, this thing does not have a lot of hull, so that's a significant portion of its health here. So it takes a hull, and the guy drops his blaster, is what I will say. And you all have a boost die for whatever you do now. So back to the top of the round. Player character slot.
So here's a question I'm going to pose to you guys. So would we rather lose these guys or end these guys? Because I think I could probably lose them, but I could also hit the brakes really hard and let the big gun in the front do all the talking.
I will note that I'm better at the regular kind of talking. So, letting me do that kind of talking.
Well, I know Vans has a pretty decent agility, so he probably has an all right gunnery at the very least.
Then again, the little gun can do all the talking.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Jessica does the talking for Vans.
All right, so we should just keep going then.
Someone else want to do something first, or do you want Vans to take?
Either you take a shot, or I'll try to take a shot, and...
All right, Vans lines it up. As he's kind of coming around, he does an aim shot, and he's like, all right, bye-bye. And just kind of whispers it towards Jessica and says, time to make Daddy proud.
All right. So that's going to be, you're at medium range, so 2 purple. He has his black from all those advantage he got his last round, one setback. You do get your blue die for the billion advantage Atmos got, and then a boost for the aiming, and then Yeah, and I mean, spend them while you got them. I'm gonna spend another destiny point to make this even harder.
All right.
We only got we got like 40 minutes left. Got to spend them while I got them.
All right.
To upgrade the difficulty.
Let me know when it's time.
Sure is.
Here we go. Ooh.
So 1 failure and 2 advantage.
One failure and 2 advantage, which is I'm like
surprising.
Yeah, Van's
I'm surprised. I the GM am surprised.
That's a lot of boost die to get nothing with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a note, Van's rolled 4 boost, 2 ability, and 2 proficiency dice against 1 of each negative die. That's unlikely.
That is so many blank dice.
Yeah.
That is, and you know, like I said, it happens. Die don't lie. They just create a good story. So as he fires, he just had it on, but something he just at the last minute moved and it just missed him. And I'm just like, Vance is just shaking his head, like, damn.
Yeah.
The 2 boost, I would actually like to pass to whoever has got next.
Okay. Now that only costs 1 to pass just onto the next person. So
actually, Atmos, I'm going to give it to Atmos for his driving.
Okay, perfect. All right. So there we go. Now it is their turn. So they are going to use their first maneuver to pilot to try and get closer to y'all. So once again, 2 red dice versus 2 blue, 2 green, and a yellow. And unless anyone has something to modify, I'm going to roll the dice. So 1 success and 1 threat. So he is able to, with 1 maneuver, because he's at speed 2, and I'm fairly certain that's how speed 2 works, is able to get within close range of you all. And then he personally is going to take, and with the threat, I think it is difficult and is going to do a system strain, which he's actually not got a lot of system strain left, so this could go poorly for him. He's going to personally take more strain to do another piloting check to try and close the distance with you all now. So basically trying to get within engaged. So again, unless anyone has something they'd like to do, if they have an ability or whatever, I'm going to roll the dice.
By engaged, do we mean he's trying to get like...
He's trying to get like up on. So he's
on
like
the...
close.
Okay.
He's trying to get. You'll see what he's doing if he gets there.
Oh.
Which he does. So.
Oh boy.
That's 3 successes and 3 advantage. So with 3 advantage, I believe you can take a free maneuver. Am I mistaken? Oh no, you can't take more than 2 maneuvers, no matter what.
No.
So ignore that. So I think.
Well, it's more or less he drives right on top.
Yeah, so here's what I will say is that I think the advantage are that you don't see exactly where he is. Right? So he basically like drives up right behind, because like this is basically built like a ship and you're kind of at the steering wheel, right? And so he's kind of underneath it basically because it's a floating barge, and so he's out of sight right now. Not that it will be impossible for him to get in sight, but currently he is out of sight, and so that is going to be his turn actually. So that is it for him. So we now have another player character turn. Unfortunately, it does mean the big gun is not going to be an option.
At most, I hate to say it, but someone's under the ship now. At most, it's the one piloting, right? I'm not.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're down there, and I guess I'm going to try to like lean over the side with my little dinky holdout pistol.
Yeah.
And see if I can spot him.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't think that's even like a roll to spot him. Like you can just take your shot. So technically, this is going to be engaged distance.
It's going to be engaged distance, not short.
Yeah, no, it makes more sense that this is short. I mean, his speeder's in engaged distance with your vehicle, but not with you. So yeah, it's short range. And you have a boost die from all that advantage in the beginning. He doesn't have any special stuff to help himself. So now, are you shooting him or the speeder?
If I do stun damage to a speeder, does it inflict system strain? Probably not.
I believe so, yes.
Oh, it does.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Hull trauma or system strain.
Is it like Hull in that like 10 system strain equals 10 strain equals a system strain, or is it still 1-to-1?
Oh, that's a problem.
Well,
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I want to shoot him. I want to shoot him, and I do not want to stun him. I want to dangerously shoot him, and I also want to
danger shoot. Yep.
And I also want to take 2 strain, so and just line up this shot really good. Make sure my hands aren't shaking, and pull the trigger.
All right.
And so I now have a boost die from the thing and a boost die for aiming.
Sure do.
And I think short range is 1 purple die.
I've got my purple die in, so whenever you're ready.
Okay. Let me just make sure my dice pool is otherwise clean.
No worries. Wow. All right. So that's just 2 advantage. So no successes. So you miss, but you do have 2 advantage to use how you see fit.
I have a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, he wasn't quite on the ship yet, right? So maybe he was like reaching for it, but then she blasts at him and he retracts his hand.
Mm-hmm. I think, well, right now, so here, Zale, what you see as you come down, you see he is like just back to being piloting, right? He's not like moving to climb on the ship actually right now. So, but if you want, like, you can definitely say that you just shoot at him and he ducks down and is going to is distracted and will just take a setback on his next thing.
I like that.
Sometimes the simplest option is the best option. All right. So next PC turn.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
How close is the speeder behind us to the speeder bay door in the cargo?
Because I love where this is going, pretty close.
Okay. Would anyone mind if I took this spot to kind of release that?
I think I speak for everyone when I say, please,
do it.
What are you doing, Wade?
Yeah, Bishop would like to open that bay door, and
it's already been opened. Actually,
has
it's
it?
established.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
okay.
Because y'all were ready to just jet.
Right. All right. Well, then down there and seeing this speeder pulling up behind us, I think he's just going to kind of disengage whatever's holding the speeder there and let it kind of just tumble out, or hoof it out.
Nice. So you just want to dump the speeder on him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I love this.
No, this is great.
I'm glad I have the tech part now.
So
I'm glad
beautiful.
I got that tech part out before you did this.
So, do you have an idea, Wade, as to a good skill for like timing / getting this thing to work the way you want it to work?
All right. Well, what would you consider? What is coordination?
Coordination? I think that could be coordination.
Yeah.
I mean, coordination is more or less like a like an athletics.
Yeah.
Or not athletics, like an agility kind of check.
I think if you like coordination in terms of timing it right.
Yeah.
I think I like that a lot.
All right.
So
I think it stands for a good reason.
Yeah, I will say is going to be 2 purple dice to dump this speeder bike on him.
Okay.
And if there's any other modifiers you want to use, you tell me. So your maneuver will be to get to the speeder bike because you were over at the hut thing. So
Right.
but for instance, if you want to use the destiny point, you
Yeah.
may. I mean,
I can't remember where it's come from, but it's showing up in my character sheet that there's 2 blue already tied to coordination.
Is that
is your cybernetics have to do with coordination?
Maybe?
That might be it. The only real ways that it should be is if you have a cybernetic that deals with that, or if you have a
It might be a
or if you have a like assassin feature that
Could
does
be
that.
an assassin feature. That seems like something he might have.
Yeah, I think that might be within the career
That-
stuff.
If so, then I love this even more. Yes, you should have, I think, 1 unless you went to the 2nd rank of stalker. But yes, add blue per rank of stalker to all stealth and
Specializations.
coordination checks. Did you I don't know how far you went down in the skill tree here. This
I went
talent tree.
down 3 rows.
Oh, so you have 2 ranks in stalker, so you get those 2 free blue dice. I
Okay.
love this.
And then
Yes.
the 1
Hit me
carried
up.
over from everyone getting 1, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I love this.
Yep, that's there.
and are you spending a destiny to upgrade?
Seems a little fortuitous, but or excessive, but you
Yeah,
can.
that feels a little like overkill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious.
All right, we'll just see how this goes then.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The speeder bike has 2 hull threshold. And it's already taken 1 from the harsh turn. So you disengage this speeder bike and it and flies and it just starts like tumbling and boom, impacts with this massive in this massive explosion as these 2 speeder bikes explode on each other. The strain, I will say, the ship kind of like lifts up a bit and the gift takes
Holy
a system
crap.
strain. Luckily, it's not enough to be too worried about, but just this massive like explosion and you feel the like heat wash over you as just you explode the speeder bike with another speeder bike.
Van looks
Love
back
it
and
so
looks at the
much.
explosion as he sees the speeder bikes and goes, "No, not the speeder bikes!
Yeah, I was
Oh,
hoping to drive that sometime.
Oh,
that
I
would
love
have
it.
been good."
And that's the perfect way to end that encounter. Oh,
Yeah.
what good chase, y'all.
Nice.
Good
Good
chase.
time. So yeah, what do you guys do now that you have finished this chase? You are no longer being pursued,
Mhm.
at least that you know of.
So Atmos is going to try and hand the controls off to Vans because he's right there. And if he does take them, he's gonna head back down to the cargo bay and pick apart that alarm and see if there was a tracker of some kind on it and if that was actually deactivated or not.
I think we've established that you've like cut the transmission. Like
Okay,
you're
so
good
it's-
on
it's
that.
dead.
That
Okay.
alarm. Yeah, you guys got enough successes and all that. That it is the like because I remember you got multiple. I got multiple successes on that. So maybe if you just got 1, I might be cheeky, but no, you got multiple successes. You got it good.
Okay. In that case,
What
I'll
can
just
I
keep
say? I'm
piloting
good at
us
this
toward the
sort of
ship.
thing.
Okay.
Probably at the same speed that we're already moving.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean
trying to get
we're
there
out
quicker.
of combat, so I'm not gonna make you guys roll to pilot all the way to the ship.
Yeah.
So the plan: find a spot, unload, or
Find a spot, unload, and see if we can send this thing to.
I would
Me
like to cut in
and-
and remind you that this skiff has about 4 times the carrying capacity of your Lancer.
true. Doesn't mean we can't
So-
make more than one stop.
Take what we
Correct.
can, abandon this thing. I mean, track her off or not, I don't want to wait around too long.
So finding a spot,
and I've
try to
got the
unload it, and then
And I've got
sending
the
it
important
into
thing.
sending
Massive-
it down a few miles to destroy into a
Yeah.
cliff face.
My suggestion is that we evaluate what we got, pick out the most valuables, drop those off, come back, and if possible, make multiple trips. If not, get rid of the skiff.
I would
I
even suggest
did
get
obfuscate things a little bit.
Vans goes like, so one, make sure we at least dump one of the cargo pieces that looks not too valuable on the ground and let it fall out as we're moving to make it look like things are not falling out as it's moving as before it crashes and blows up.
That sounds good to me.
Okay. So basically, the plan is we're going to take multiple trips with the Lancer, taking
So
the cargo and dropping it off.
So we're going to go find a cave or somewhere off the way,
Mhm.
unload as much as we can, then get out, send it further down, drop something, set it on autopilot, and smash it into the side of a thing to try to blow it up. After we search the hut's room and get into it, right, Bishop?
Right.
And then from there, once things die down, take the Lancer and make several trips to load up and get the cargo.
Mhm.
Is that the good plan?
I don't know
Sounds like a
how
good plan to
many
me.
trips we want to make. I'm going to work on trying to appraise the cargo so we can get the most valuable stuff first.
Yeah. That is a skill for sure that exists.
That feels like an underworld check.
Yeah. I think that tracks for me as well. I think it's not too difficult to do. I'm just going to set as a 1 purple die because this is pretty common weaponry.
Ready?
Yep.
And my dice pool has been cleaned.
Yeah, for
Alright.
sure. Basically, you would say that we'll say for convenience that there's like 1 Lancer load of rifles and the rest are kind of like more small arms and stuff, and like the rifles would be the most valuable stuff. Like you want to get those first. That's like that alone, in that like it's only a fourth of the shipment, is probably like over a third of the value, right? So
Let's get the rifles. I don't want to deal with the logistics of making multiple trips. The more trips, the more likely it is we get caught.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
And the special cargo that you found, right?
Yeah,
Got it
Zales,
right here.
I'll,
Though I'm not sure we want to hand it over. Looks like ship tech.
Zale,
Oh,
yes,
that might
Zale
be
does have it.
something we might want to hold on to too. Yes, we'll have to figure it out.
Perfect. So yeah, you guys are able to load all the rifles onto the Lancer. Or it's like you have to like college moving day, like Tetris it all in. You like are filling the hold, which you've never done, Vans. This is the first time you've really used
So
it.
one of the things we do have is we have the tractor beam. So we could we've got a tractor beam on the ship, so we could actually just tractor as much in to the bay as possible and then go from there. So
Yeah.
instead of actually having to move it on.
Well, there you go. You tractor beam college moving day, pack it
There we
all
go.
in. And then so I'm assuming you basically just fly it to a landing pad in Vikea and just kind of put it a place where you know it's going to be safe, and then take a trip back out.
Storage unit, yeah.
And then basically just do that 3 more times.
But making the long way a few times, not going straight there. So if we
Okay.
get spotted stealthily, just making it like back and forth.
I have an idea.
For sure.
It might
Yeah.
reduce our payout, but it might obfuscate things a little too in case we get caught.
Mhm.
I can try and make an anonymous tip to salvagers. Something, a ship went down out here.
Would they get there in time before the Hut's crew?
Maybe not. Depends. Probably not, then. Not worth it.
Has Bishop been able to get into the Hut's room?
This is a weird thing in RPGs, but I feel like given enough time, you would eventually roll well enough to do so. So I think it's just in terms of for the narrative that we'll just say yes. Like it wasn't the easiest, but you were able to get into the office, I will say.
Was there any special items, safes,
so
trinkets
how about
that weren't blown up?
Yes. So basically, Vans is, I'm assuming, tractor beaming everything in. And then Zale is kind of help creating this ruse, right? With the symbol and all
yes.
that. And Bishop is searching the office. At most, what would you say your role in this moment is? Like what is Atmos doing? Are you just like helping load in or
Yeah. He's helping load things and also keeping an eye out for anybody like showing up and making trouble, right?
Okay. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna have Atmos roll me a perception test. Let me figure out the difficulty here.
Okay. So I've got my heightened awareness.
Yes.
But I also have, and I want to double check and see if this would apply.
Okay.
I've got some tracker's goggles that I bought from Van's uncle.
Yes. What do they do?
Grant a blue die to the wearer's perception skill checks to locate a target by sight. Removes 2 black dice.
Remove
to
2 black dice.
Adverse weather.
Okay. Well, I don't think it's necessarily adverse weather, but if it was, it would knock out those black dice. But there's no black dice to be had currently.
Okay.
So
do you think that would be apply enough to use the blue dice?
Yeah, I'll give you a blue die in this. So I will say that the difficulty is going to be 2 setback and 2 purple, 2 red.
Okay.
So, and then you are going to get a total of 2 blue dice on this, 1 for your heightened awareness and 1 for your goggles, if I am not mistaken.
And you said perception, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let me roll that.
Okay. So that's 1 success and 2 threat. So what I will say is that you, as you are looking out, and I'll say this is on the final load, that's going to be one of my threats. You do see on you're like in a cave system, and on like a dune, like on a hill, you do see the glint of somebody in armor with like macro binoculars looking at y'all doing this. And they seem, and
I knew we shouldn't have kept
and
going.
you like scan around and you like see them with your binoculars, and you see you two are staring at each other. They see that you see. That's your other threat. So there is someone that's you're not exactly sure how long, but are currently watching you do this.
Okay. Can I see? They are in armor.
Yes. Well, actually, I will say that getting a better look, it looks like it's a droid.
A droid. Okay. Is it perchance that droid that I tossed off of the skiff earlier?
No, it is a droid that seems more equipped for combat than that.
That droid got thrown off?
Oh,
you lost
no.
that droid too?
Yeah, that droid.
Oh,
that
no,
droid's
I
long
tossed
gone.
that thing as soon
Yeah,
as
that droid's long gone.
Memory wipe, free
Poor
droid.
Astromech.
Just kidding. That's the new final boss of this campaign. That piloting droid.
Yep.
And I think seeing you see it, it's gonna like start to like it's gonna hop on its own swoop bike and just punch it and go away.
Gosh, I wish we still had that swoop bike I could give chase.
I mean, you could attempt to give chase in the Lancer if you really wanted to.
We could actually. I'm
Uh,
actually gonna.
And actually, I will say, so you seeing this are now maybe a little more alert. I will give you also for free because I'm nice. As you finish loading up the Lancer, you look down and you see where the guy was. You see a tracking beacon planted on the ship. That's what he did with his action.
Oh, Criff.
On the skiff?
Everyone,
On the skiff. Yeah. That's what he did with his action. He went and planted a tracking beacon on you.
everyone,
All
this is
right,
all we're
new
getting.
plan. We get this stuff to the Imperials. Minus of this, I still want to know what this is and why it's so valuable. And then we get the Criff off this planet.
Yep. First, we need to take out that droid. Everyone on the ship, we're giving chase.
Okay. So, I guess we're gonna start our second chase of the session.
Hey, was
So-
there anything worthwhile in
So
that?
we're about
Oh,
12
oh.
minutes from the ending, so.
Yeah, so right. So in the huts chambers, I will say so there were, I will say, a total of about 50 credits just
Okay.
of like petty cash.
Oh, yep. And I still have the 50 from last time.
And I will say that there's also some like just data pads that will take time to go through, but probably have at least some amount of Vanderjar
Mm-hmm.
information. And
Information.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
and that we can basically, if you'll have downtime or such, can get into.
Tasty.
And so if the intention is to chase this droid, then is that what everyone like? Atmos wants to do that. What is everyone else like?
Is there a point?
I mean, they have
The
a head
droid's
start on
seen
you.
us.
I
The
will
droid's
say.
got a head start. The droid's probably transmitted back what we look like already. I want to get away from this whole planet as soon as possible.
So it got on a speeder bike, so it's not a probe droid.
Mm-mm.
So I'm gonna say that was no probe droid. It couldn't have transmitted anything. It's gonna have to go back and report, and we definitely do not want the huts knowing our faces.
Is that a thing? I couldn't it just like calm back stuff?
It certainly could have, but
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to be
think
breaking Star
Sam
Wars
was-
lore.
Atmos is kind of panicking. The last thing he wants is somebody
Yeah,
to know
no,
that he was
understood.
responsible for this.
No, yeah.
Look, they probably know already. They probably know it's us. We need to. Oh, where's my body paint? Of course, I didn't take it with me. It's back at my apartment. Dang it. Chris, we need to get as much of this junk as possible to our contact and get out of here. I don't want to lose more time.
And Atmos is really like he looks maybe a bit upset at this bit, but he certainly can't argue. And he goes, "Fine, let's get off this planet."
Nice.
Delivery first, and then we go.
All right. So you all are back in Vakea. You've dropped off all your cargo.
Except for the part.
Sure. Well,
Well,
so you've dropped off your cargo in like a secure place.
Oh, right.
So
right.
How many weapons or what type of weapons are in these crates?
So it's a lot of just like standard kind of, not necessarily standard issue stormtrooper blasters, but just like standard, like, this is what, a street gang would be able to get a hold of. Like this is like, readily available small arms.
Okay. Any grenades or anything like that?
There's probably like a little bit of frag grenades, but it's mostly just small arms. Like this looks like
Okay.
it was basically an arms factory had like a good amount just skimmed off the top, right?
Does anyone need a blaster?
Yeah,
Before-
at most I'll take a blaster pistol.
Yeah, you have a blaster pistol.
Yep.
So if anyone wants a blaster pistol or a what would it be? A blaster rifle. They're although if you take some of the blaster rifles, that'll be more noticeable because there's not very many of them. You may.
The pistols would be equivalent to what they had topside when we got on, right?
They were willing light blaster pistols, so this is like a blaster pistol, which is slightly better.
I'm gonna keep my dinky little blaster.
And this was still off the first it was this on the first trip before, or this, how many trips were we able to make it back before?
Oh no, yeah, this was on the last trip. So
on
you've
the
gotten
last
all the
trip.
you've gotten
okay.
all of it. This is
Got
on the
it,
last
got it.
trip that you noticed this droid.
Okay. Destroy the skiff before we're out of there, and then hopefully that we can drop it off and then move on.
All right. So you have the equipment. Are you just going to go straight to them and drop this all off? Basically, straight to your contact, and just like, I'm not saying you're going to like wheel all this incriminating stuff through the city, but just like
give him like the key
the
to
coordinates
storage
of the Star Wars
The storage unit.
storage unit,
Mhm.
the Star Wars unit, if you will.
Storage Wars. I said it.
Hey,
There we go. The crossover we all were waiting for. Wow, that gives me an idea for a very different campaign. So, yes, you go to meet Kai Zet, and you see they're in, again, this is the compound for the Imperials is this like small section on the outskirts of Vokea that's basically, it looks like more Vokea, but has like a few stormtroopers here and there and has a few Imperial insignias. Just, this is where they can be safe, and that, you leave me alone, I leave you alone. Yes.
I want to say, since we had a bit of prep time, that the part is no longer on Zale's person, it's on the ship.
Okay. And I will say, so basically the Kai would just ask like, yes, Imperial citizens, what business do you all have in the compound today?
We wanted to notify the Empire of an incident that occurred.
Oh, my goodness. What incident might that be?
Well, and Zale's going to basically slip him the key. I heard that a skiff crashed out there in the canyons.
Dangerous place, Socorro.
Very much.
Would you happen to have been able to account for everything on the skiff that you were able to, thank goodness, recover, so that was not lost to the sands?
Everything we could recover.
There
Terrific.
was some issues, but I believe everything.
Wonderful. And yeah, he will say, I will have someone retrieve the Empire's property and come back to you with a just reward. If you would like to grab yourself a drink, please be our guest.
Vans looks at him and goes,
I
I'll meet
definitely
you back
need
at the
one.
ship.
Yeah.
Oh, say
yeah.
again.
Vans is like, I'll meet you back at the ship. You guys enjoy your drink. And proceed to...
Well, maybe I can get one to go.
You guys are staying.
At
but I
most
just...
is Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to
Atmos is-
stay here.
Yeah.
Atmos is sticking around. He's gonna get the drink. He needs it.
And Bishop.
Bishop is not a drinker.
Okay.
Have to stay sharp.
So yeah, you see Kai himself has to go. Like that's the level of importance he is working with. So you see he returns. But so Bishop, are you gonna stay though, like at the cantina to like receive the payment and such, or are you gonna go back to the ship with Vans and Zale?
Actually, let's just go outside the cantina. Oh, we're at the cantina or the Imperial? I'm sorry.
So the canteen is inside the Imperial compound.
Oh, okay. So
It's an Imperial friendly bar, basically.
Okay, I would step outside the Imperial compound, saying I'm going to return to the ship,
Gotcha.
but just step outside the Imperial compound and
Mhm.
just wait for them to come out.
Gotcha. So here, basically, who's meeting up with Kai in the cantina?
Oh, okay. I'm going to stay for the meetup then.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay in the cantina as well.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
then
I got confused and thought we're moving the payment picker.
No, yeah, you're good. So everyone who's there, so Atmos, Zale, and Bishop,
yeah, Bishop's
see-
gonna hang out with Atmos.
he is visibly he obviously did not find something he was looking for, but he puts down a like credits are weird in Star Wars, but I will just say it's
Cred
like
shit.
yeah of 1,200 credits, and says thank you all for your bravery and due diligence in your service in the Empire. There wouldn't happen to have been anything else on the vessel, would there? And that is where we will end today's session of Halcyon Days, as the party is now about to get questioned a little bit about what may or may not have gone on that on that barge. Yes.
In a downtime for a second there, while we were kind of staring, Vans actually, I know we're doing this real quick, would
Mhm.
actually have to rename the ship. And would have asked because he's got to go to, that's actually probably where he's gone to rename the ship and go to the, is it SOBOSS
Us.
bus and ask the crew, I got to rename the ship. What should we call it?
Actually, I have a great idea for why it would get the name we already agreed on, the
Yeah.
Halcyon. Because we are leaving this planet in the past.
All right. So
Perfect.
that's one of the things before anything else that would been
Perfect.
while I've been
So-
taken care of.
Yes. So Vans and Kai leave the compound, kind of different directions, but at the same time. Vans, you go to the BOSS, and the attendant's like, "What do you need?"
I need to register my ship. Go
All
through the
right.
process.
What's the name?
Halcyon Days.
All right. And then yes, that happens, and then we end the session on Kaizet like leaning in. You see a single like bead of sweat drip down his face. Was there anything else on that vessel? And that's today's session. Thank you all so much for watching episode 2 of Halcyon Days. We're gonna go back around and tell you where you can find us, and then a little bit more about what you can expect from us in the future. So, Alex, please.
Once again, I am Alex. You can catch me here Tuesdays, but also occasionally I will stream with Gregory at 1 and 20 D&D on
Woo.
Sundays, as we occasionally play some Star Wars: The Old Republic. Otherwise, you can catch me on Twitter at Shock the Link, where I talk about Star Wars. I'm currently in the middle of a canon catch-up, so if you want to see me live tweet that, feel free to check that out. Also, occasionally, when I can afford it, I paint minis, so find that on Instagram at Shock the Link.
Wonderful. Awesome. Next up, Wade. Where can we find you?
You can find me by looking up pretty much anything that says not quite Wade. Or you can find the other podcast, the Not Quite Heroes, at NQH Podcast. Rob is also a part of that.
Woo.
That's much I'm really into right now.
Awesome.
And I'm running the stream. So
Yeah.
if you see me
Doing
staring
a,
away
doing
most
a
of the
great
time,
job with all the loop-de-loops we've been throwing at you. So thank you very much for your due diligence. Jay.
Jay, you can catch me here Tuesdays, Twitter at neofet3. Other than that, I'm branching into some of the local conventions with Star Wars RPGs, Edge of the Empires, some other gaming system Pathfinder. Next year, ZegeCon, which is Jasper's Game Day and Lighthouse event conjunction. So
Awesome. And IO.
EO or IO, you can find me on Twitter at EO McCoy. I talk about politics and sometimes gaming, because that's pretty much my life. Also, I hope everyone who had municipal elections voted in them. Civic participation is good.
That's right. Tabletop Galaxy fully endorses civic participation. Get off me, haters. And I am Robert the GM. You can find me starting soon. Keep an eye out for my Twitter. Restarting my weekly game every Tuesday during the day because I am great at scheduling. My D&D 5e stream, Revenge of the Gith. That'll be on my friend Valdrina's channel. Keep an eye out on my social media at Robbie Rollin on Twitter for all the information about that. It's going to be super fun. You can also find me on the Not Quite Heroes podcast. We release every other Monday. It's super fun, and Wade just knocks it out of the park every time. It's kind of aggravating. Be good as someone who's trying to also do a little bit of editing, and yeah,
I appreciate your pun.
Thank you. Don't forget to also tune in tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Time. Convert that however you like to catch the second episode of Second Sunrise, which is fun. The sister group to this group, who will be getting into plenty of shenanigans as well, and are just terrific people, run by Steven at the Bad DM and so many great people. So
Huge shout out to Nev. She helps me out with my GM stuff.
yeah, no, Niffer and Gregory and Nick and Bounty Hunter who set this all up. So just a great cast, a great time, and obviously you like this crew better, but they are going to influence this crew's story. So if you want the full picture of what's going on, you can watch both sides. And yeah,
tomorrow night is Sunrise or Second Sunrise, which is Group 1. So don't forget to check them out on Tabletop Galaxy Twitch as well.
Exactly.
Yep, they'll
and
be right here.
keep an eye out for all our socials and stuff. For if you missed any of this, we'll be releasing a podcast version and then an edited video version. I promise I'm doing podcast editing. I promise. And we'll release those for your listening and viewing pleasure. But until next time, that is all for now. Thank you all so much for sticking around, and I hope you had a great time. I know I did. So thank you all. That's all for tonight. We'll see you hopefully back here tomorrow.
We're doing the wave, right?
We sure are. Everyone. Goodbye. Thank you so much.